Welcome back to GTW. Today we are going to be diving into our very first Borderlands build video on the Hose Rafa. This build is versatile for mobbing and above average for bossing. Today we will be showcasing an infinite ammo build utilizing several weapons, talking about the skill trees and the skills that I'm utilizing in this build, and also talk about some alternatives that I've come up with for some different playstyles that lean more into the deadless build branch and manufacturers. Thank you guys so much for coming to our very first build video. Let's get right into today's video. Here are some single shotguns and some small magazine weapons, including a manufactured guns that are speccing into the infinite ammo bullet hose Rafa build. I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you guys so much for watching the intro. I hope you guys are excited. I'm very excited to introduce Bullet Hose Rafa. This is a Vladof build based off of infinite ammo. It is a versatile build that is good for mobbing and is above average for bossing. I'm very excited to go over all the skills with you guys. First, I'm going to go over the action skill, then the augment and the capstone, and then I'm going to read over the skills and kind of just explain how the build is stacking. It is based off of stacking crits with torch stickies or stacking crits in general, but it is a very open build. You don't have to stack crits. You don't have to stack stickies. I've designed the build to be infinite ammo for shotguns, pistols, snipers. It is an all-around build. I'm very interested to see if I can get some comments on this build so you guys can tell me how you guys feel about it and how it works with your guys' gameplay. Maybe I can update the build. I have a deadless insight on this build on how you could go more spec into deadless instead of Vladof if you really wanted to, but I decided to go Vladof. So we're going to start off with going over our action skill, which is the Peacebreaker Cannon. Rafa equips shoulder-mounted Peacebreaker cannons, which fire at enemies in front of him for a duration, dealing kinetic gun damage. Press and hold F to end Peacebreaker cannons early. It's a turret 268 per shot, 18 seconds with a cooldown of 40 seconds. And I'm stacking it with Bullet Buddy Deluxe. While Peacebreaker cannons are active, Rafa and his allies regenerate ammunition into their magazine. Rafa's Peacebreaker cannons deal bonus incendiary damage based on how full his guns are, and his turrets shoot exploding bullets while his magazine is full. And then I decided to spec into Beam Team, which is Rafa's Peacebreaker cannons are replaced with Shock Beam and Corrosive Beam. Each beam automatically locks on enemies in your view and may lock onto different enemies. And so there is another way you can go with this. If you really wanted to, you could go with Instantito, which is what I was originally running. It is very high damage output depending on how you oriented the build, but I decided to spec over into Beam Team for constant action skill cooldown and action skill damage, and the constant stacks are consistently allowing me to pull infinite ammo compared to this, which is more of a just absolute like damage breaker build. You could try both. But honestly, if you're really trying to go with the infinite ammo, I would go with the beam team, because the status effect is applied, and it stacks and lock on to enemies. But if you're doing consistent beams, then it's a consistent stack, and it will transfer over to a different enemy, and then the stacks will reset. So when you're doing bossing or like the weeklies and just trying to do a lot of really fast-paced mobbing, then this is really, really nice. If you're trying to do, you know, something just like one shot or maybe just few shot builds, then I would probably go into Incentito. So for the skills, guys, we have Satir, which is Rafa gains increased gun damage 5 out of 5. So it's 25%. And then Rafa gains critical hits on enemies. Action skill cooldown duration is restored 15% with a cooldown of 4 seconds. And then the blues, we'll go over here in a second. That's from my builds for my skill. Then we're going to go down to here, and we're going to go Rafa gains increased skill damage, which is 27%. We're going to go down here and get 5 out of asymmetric warfare, which is indirect projectiles gain increased damage. Indirect projectiles include all action skill weapons, thrown guns, and projectiles not fired from your gun. So I spec this because with beam team, it is a constant projectile, more than the shots from the shotgun, which you could spec in down here, or this Incentito, which is more of a, you know, pellet build. The asymmetric warfare really stacks well with the beam team, so I went with that, and went with errant spark, which is all indirect projectiles deal bonus incendiary damage. If the indirect projectile already deals incendiary damage, double the bonus damage. So this is 40% of the damage that I'm already dealing for incendiary. And then I went over here and stacked for Vitriol, which is 5 out of 5 for a passive, which is the first shot fired from Rafa's fully loaded magazine deals bonus corrosive damage. This is from my build. And then I went for Inspirato, which is whenever Rafa inflicts a status effect on an enemy, he gains increased action skill cooldown rate and decreased action skill duration rate. This effect stacks. And after that, I decided to put my last 10 points into 5 out of 5 for Midnight Oil, which is Rafa's action skill deals bonus corrosive damage per stack of Midnight Oil. Gain a stack of Midnight Oil every second his action skill is active, losing all stacks when his action skill ends, and it's 5% per stack for 10 stacks, which makes it a max of 50%. Then we go over to the blue tree, which is really, this is what makes the build right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is Lost Jars, which is overdrive skill. Rafa regenerates ammo while overdrive is active. This skill is absolutely pushing the entire infinite ammo build on top of the action skill buffs that are applying to this for the overdrive, because the longer his overdrive is active, the longer this is going to be pushing ammo regeneration for Rafa. So going over to the blue highlighted skills from the inventory before we go talk about inventory is 4 out of 5 for Deft Hands, which is Rafa and his Peacebreaker cannons gain increased fire rate. Then we're going to go down to concentrated buildup. While aiming with gun, Rafa deals bonus shock damage. Each time Rafa deals gun damage to an enemy while aiming, gain further increased bonus shock damage until he stops aiming. Alcaran is the next one, which is enemies damaged by Rafa's Peacebreaker cannons have an increased chance to receive a status effect. And then lateral plinking, which is Rafa's indirect projectiles gain a chance to ricochet. So these are absolutely phenomenal for the mod that I got that I'm going to showcase you guys. And the main mod that I've got on is Precise Instigator, which is whenever Rafa Peacebreaker cannons fire at an enemy, gain a stack of Instigator and lose all stacks whenever Peacebreaker cannons fire at a new enemy. Rafa gains 2% gun damage at every stack of Instigator with a 30% stat spec damage and a 45% action skill duration, which is why I decided to buff for lateral plinking, and then also decided there was one more in here that had status effect that is also pushing right here. The Alcaran, which is enemies damaged by Rafa's Peacebreaker's cannons have an increased chance to receive a status effect damage. So this is a really good roll for this build right here. I believe I got this specific drop from Origo last week, and it was probably after about 3,500 or 4,500 of iridium that I got this roll. I got 3 other rolls for this instigator, and this is by far the best one for this build. So we're gonna go over to the inventory, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed talking about the skills. Now we're gonna go talk about the inventory. Alright guys, now to get into the inventory, the gun was built off of the Callison here, which is fires tracker rounds, tagging enemies that projectiles will home in on for 8 seconds. With torque stickies, fires sticky gyro jets that explode on reload, or when switching modes, which increase explosion damage by 4% each. So this is like the big, this is the meat right here, guys, of this build, because with the infinite ammo, you get to necessarily decide the damage output that you are doing based off of the 4% stacks of the gyro jets, and also the stacks for the projectiles from the beam team. That's also stacking with this for the 50 stacks. It is a lot of stack damage going on with the Callison in particular, or honestly with any single gun that has torque sticky parts that are absolutely insane, and anything over 2% would be absolutely phenomenal for this build. And I've also just wanted to talk about the manufacturing Totarian Onslaught, which has got a 30% chance for every bullet fired to deal extra damage and not consume ammo, which is really big for this build. The damage for this gun could be a lot better, but I do see an SMG buff coming in the future, so there is a lot of hope for this gun when a buff comes. But the 30% chance for bullets to not consume ammo is absolutely insane for this gun. You guys seen it in the intro, and we also have the BOD, which is an 8-round shotgun. I have it with the Hyperion shield, and I prefer the sniper roll on it, so I could just do infinite ammo sniper rounds out of a shotgun. It's absolutely insane. And then we have the Toss Watching Phantom, which is a 6-shot Jacobs pistol. It can fire pretty much infinitely with this build, hundreds and hundreds of rounds. Hundreds and hundreds of rounds from this pistol, guys. It is crazy, this pistol right here. And for the rep kit, we are using a large defibrillator, which has, when health goes below 20%, there is a 50% chance to replenish a rep kit charge. And I have really farmed it and got a good roll with splash damage on use, grants extra splash damage for 25% for 6 seconds, which stacks with the 4% per gyro jet for the torque stickies for the splash damage. So I mean, but between the splash damage and the explosion damage, whether it's on reload or trigger, and its stacking is absolutely phenomenal. And then I personally am only using this throwing knife for the singularity payload and the prolonged augment that I've got on it, and then I got lethal on it. I got a really good roll on this throwing knife. You guys will see in the gameplay, it just throws enemies around like they're on an amusement park, right? I think it's the funniest knife that I've ran across, as far as like it makes people spin. It makes enemies spin, and you will see in this video bosses, they'll just fly around, and then you'll have to look for them because they're falling to the ground. It's super fun. And then I already went over the precise instigator, but we'll go over it again, which is whenever Peacebreaker cannons fire at an enemy, gain a stack of instigator, and lose all stacks when Peacebreaker cannons fire at a new enemy. Rafa gains 2% gun damage for every stack, and it's got 30% status effect damage and 45% axis kill duration. Now, there are a few shields that I could recommend, but the one I'm going to recommend for this build is going to be the Super Soldier, which is when your overshield fills, grants overshield when my shield is full, grants 25% fire rate, 25% movement speed, and regens 1 ammo. When energy shields are full, grants 20% movement speed, and utility, when shield is empty, grant 28% gun handling and 15% movement speed. Now, I personally decided to go with the movement speed stack, which to start is 25% with the base Super Soldier, and I got Vagabond, which is absolutely insanity, which brings the movement speed up to 45%. And then you bring it up with utility, which now has the movement speed up to 60%. Then that's not including the specializations I'm going to be going over with you guys here in a few seconds. That is why I decided to go over with the movement speed, and decided to go with Baker, which is shield capacity is increased and my rep kit cooldown is increased by 15%. So I am already getting a 20% chance to get a rep kit off 50% health going down, and so this stacks it with another 15%, bringing this up to 35% chance to use a rep kit, which is constantly increasing splash damage for guns like the Callison, the Tartarian, and the Bod, and the Phantom, along with the throwing knife here. Now, the other thing that's pushing this build extremely hard is this bullet hose here that I found, which is guns with Vladof licensed parts have a 30% chance to add an extra projectile per shot, and the rolls I got were really good in my opinion, which is SMG damage is increased by 38%, gun critical damage is increased by 50%, and gun splash damage is increased by 50%. So I've already got the 25% splash damage right here for 25% for 6 seconds. Along with this, now brings up my splash damage up to 75% for at least a duration of 6 seconds when I'm using rep kits, but normally it's at a base of 50%, which is so fun, guys. This build is so fun. Between the energy buffs for the overdrive, which is pushing the infinite ammo for Laris, and now we have the bullet hose, which is also pushing the Laris, which is pushing a 30% chance to add projectiles back into my mag per shot. And if you combine that with the onslaught, which has another 30% chance for every bullet fired to deal extra damage and consume and not consume ammo, is an absolute insane amount of buffs. And so with this, guys, I'm going to show you guys some more gameplay of the Phantom Flame, showcasing the bullet hose Rafa, and then we are going to go over the specializations. Thank you guys so much for watching that excerpt of the weekly pistol from last week, just absolutely annihilating the weekly vault boss for this week. We're going to be going over the specializations now that are running this build, that are buffing some of the items that are in my inventory and some of the skills that I have selected for the build. I'm going to be starting off with Survivor. I have put 10 points into Survivor with a maximum of 13.13% for maximum health and shield, 20 points into Brute for increased gun damage, 13 points into Sharpshooter for increased reload speed and accuracy, 10 points into Runner for movement speed and melee damage. And going down these trees now, guys, we are going to be going down all the way down to Riddle You This, which is the first item on my tree here for the specializations, which is whenever the Vault Hunter deals gun damage, gain a stack of Riddle You This, increasing gun damage. Stacks are lost if a new stack has not been gained for a duration, which stacks with my beam tosser right here. The beam team, so as long as these are constantly stacking on enemies, this is constantly buffing, along with the stacking that happens, 6 seconds every single stack, 50 stacks, so 50% stack. And we get Killer once we reach all the way down to the middle tree. We got In the Zone and Killer. So Killer is just critical hit damage and status effect damage increase. And In the Zone I have equipped, which is while aiming the Vault Hunter gains increased gun damage and critical hit damage per second. Bonuses are lost after 2 seconds of not aiming, which is why I'm constantly aiming all the time very quickly to keep up this 2-second stack, which is a gun damage stack of 5% per stack and 5% per critical hit stack for a maximum stack of 5 stacks. So it's 25% gun damage and 25% critical hit damage. Going down the Runner tree, we are going to go to Bullet Train, which is the Vault Hunter can now hip fire while sprinting and gain gun damage the faster they move, which is why I immediately started speccing for the Vagabond and utility rolls on the Super Soldier, which is a 60% movement speed stack increased on top of this. Bullet Train is absolutely insane, guys. So I just wanted to give you guys a nice overview of the specializations. Before I let you guys go, I just wanted to let you guys know that there is one more manufacturer alternative that you guys could be utilizing in this build if you guys did not want to spec into Vladof, and that is the manufacturer deadlist. There's a lot of manufacturer items like guns and shields and enhancements that return ammo to the magazine and to the gun that could also buff this build. I just wanted to bring this to attention, and I will have an updated video utilizing a deadlist manufacturer build for my Bullet Hose Rafa in the near future. Stay tuned, and thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for coming and watching GTW Serrate as I break down this Rafa bullet hose and infinite ammo build video for you guys and talk about the skill points and inventory items that I've collected. This build has taken over 100 hours to create between the items and the farming and just trying to get all the skill points and all the synergies together, so I'm not creating nerves while I'm trying to create constant buffs for a good amount of mobbing and boss damage. I would really appreciate some comments and a like and a subscribe on the video for any sort of feedback, or if you guys have found this video informative and if I've been able to explain the build good enough for you guys. This is my first build video and I know I have a lot to learn. I really appreciate you guys watching the video. For all who have made it to the end of this video, I really appreciate you guys. You guys are what keep me going, and I am just going to keep charging hard trying to create as much content as I can for the channel. Don't miss this week's GTW News Borderlands as I cover the newest update on the channel. Friday we will be streaming from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Saturday I will be streaming from 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time until 12 a.m. Thank you guys so much for coming and watching GTW's race build video, and I will catch you guys in the next video.